Ms. Legalista, welcome to the video. I'm going to be talking about another job scam. I cannot help it. There's so many of them out there, and they just seem to go on and on and on and exist in just about every industry that we can think of. In this case, I'm going to be talking about the modeling industry and how much money this person paid for the little bit of services this person got. I don't know. You tell me. I don't know if it was justified given that the amount of money he spent was $3,000. And I think he only got like 24 pictures and I don't know, some other stuff. Let's go ahead and go to this so that you can take a look at it, especially if I can bring it up on the screen here.
I'm trying to get into modeling.
When you shoot for the sky,
More a creative career.
Opportunities come and go in a flash.
It says model application accepted.
So when Artemis Norman saw an Instagram ad calling for models, he saw it as a chance to pursue his dream job.
Have fun.
Okay, let me stop. I know I'm stopping fast here. First of all, he's showing the text messages. Sorry, something is in my eyes. Something's always, oh my goodness. Text messages. You really want to be able to have some sort of face to face with the person before you start, meeting with them and agreeing to do things. You can have a Zoom meeting, you can do something. And they actually do have a physical location. So that would sort of make me feel more at ease if I'm the other person. I can go to their website, I can see that they have a bricks and mortar location that I can go to. But there is a text message here. There are some interactions going back and forth. So far, it doesn't sound too bad yet.
That's your photo shoot tomorrow.
A representative for Soul Studios followed up to invite him for a photo shoot at their studio near Piedmont Park in Atlanta.
Never gotten like hair and makeup done and stuff on the set. So I'm like, okay, this seems legit.
He did the shoot, but says he wasn't prepared for an intense sales pitch that came next.
She was just kind of boosting up my potential. She offered me 3 different packages. Each one was $2,000, $3,000, and $4,000. I told her that I wasn't going to make a decision that day.
That's when he says the sales pitch ramped up and he was offered a special discount if he signed then and there.
Okay. They're going to talk about this, and I'm going to talk about this too. This is the biggest red flag right here. This sort of high-pressured sales technique where you have to make a decision right then and there. You should literally run out the door when they start doing that. The whole point is to try to get you to sign right then and there for you not to be able to share it with an attorney or someone else in the industry who may be able to tell you, hey, don't sign that because that's really not how things work. They know that. They do not want you to leave and be able to have conversations with anybody else or be able to have second thoughts about it. They don't want you to be able to do your homework. They don't want you to double check on them. You need to leave and walk out the door right then. This sort of high pressured sales technique is usually what gets people in trouble because they'll feel like, oh, especially after she has hyped him up. Did you hear him say that? So she has hyped him up, led him to believe that he can get all of this work and you can get it if you sign here on this dotted line right now. You know what? I hear you. You're having issues. Let me discount it. I'm going to give you a discount. Only good for today. It's like, well, I'm only good for this conversation right now because I'm leaving. I think that's what he should have said.
So it seemed like she was going to connect me with different agencies so I could book jobs.
So he agreed to sign the contract.
Hear what he said? Seems like she was going to connect me with these other whoever agencies or whatever to help him get a job. Remember, that's what he thought was going on. That's what he thought he was signing up for.
She put it up on the screen. It was like a tablet where you can just initial. It wasn't a piece of paper like, here's your contract, this is read over it.
After several weeks, he says he received 24 photos from the shoot and some emailed tips on modeling.
She sent a couple of YouTube links, what to do when you go to a casting call, things that I could have just Googled.
Not worthy, he thought, of the nearly $3,000 he paid. He took a closer look at the non-cancelable contract emailed to him after he signed, which...
Okay. The first part says, look at this. It says, I understand that Soul Studios is not an agency and will not find me work. In some states, in order for you to be an employment agency, you have to sign up and get registered with that state. Sometimes you have to go through an application process. Sometimes you have to have a certain amount of insurance or be bonded. You have to wait for that approval to come back. In some instances where companies have not followed that process, that state attorney general's office have they have then come back after them because they've gone out, said they were going to like help these people get these modeling jobs as an employment agency or agent, and they didn't go through the proper process. I can imagine here that this person is trying to make it very clear for that reason. First of all, I'm not an agency. I'm not going to find you work. Therefore, I'm not required to register with the state in that capacity because I'm not doing that. Then there's some other stuff there that's a little blurred out. Let's see what else they say here.
States Soul Studios is not an agency and will not find me work.
The service they provide does not equal the price they charge. They obviously knew what they were doing.
Here's another twist in this story.
Now, before we go to that other twist, let me slide back here and see if before they blurred it out, I can see what it said. It might be a little difficult there because they did blur it out. Let me see if I can put on my glasses here and see what it says. I want to see what the rest of this says. It says, okay, the first box is, I understand that Soul Studios is not an agency and will not find me work. And you see the order value up there for $3,000, monthly installments of $200.83. I'm sorry, $220.83. The second box says, I understand that the aftercare is a free charge in discretionary service, which starts after the finance has been paid and forms no part of the order placed, which is for photographic goods only. The provisions of this agreement have been fully explained to me, and I understand that the services to be provided under this agreement by the seller do not include actual job placements. Why? Because what did I just say? A lot of times, if you are providing employment services, you are finding other people jobs. In some states, you have to register with that state, and there's a process for that. It's not this sort of overnight thing where you just walk in, get a paper stamped, and you're good to go. All right, let's see if we can go back to where we were.
They obviously knew what they were doing.
Here's another twist in this story. Atlanta's Soul Studios also goes by Icon Studios, Georgia Models, and the Photo Studio Group Atlanta, and they're linked to similar studios all over the U.S. All those different names makes it difficult to formally track complaints. We did find 36 complaints about the Atlanta studio made to the BBB and Georgia Attorney General.
We will be with you throughout the entire signing process.
A closer look at the Soul Studios website raises even more questions.
What are we signing?
We did a reverse image search of the photos posted on the site and found many are generic public use stock images taken before Soul Studios even existed.
Now, they've got, this is, I guess, someone in the industry that they're getting ready to present to you. One of the things I want to talk about is most of the time with legitimate agencies, you can go to their website. They will have models up there. They will usually have listed the information about the models and some of the kind of work and projects that these models have already participated in. There's a way to then go online and do your own research to check and see if some of this is true. The more information that is there and the more you can identify and in another place, then there's a better chance that you know that you're dealing with a legitimate company. In this case, it's like stock photos. You don't have any real names. You don't have any real information about any of their clients. So how do you find out about referrals and whether or not they've actually done any good work for somebody else? I don't know. I definitely want to see their website to see what they have up there. But let's listen to someone who's actually in the industry.
He should be in trouble for that.
Ursula Weidman runs a modeling agency in Atlanta.
Up to $5,999 for an advanced package. That's nuts.
She says in her experience, a portfolio or test photo shoot used to apply for agencies that includes hair, makeup, and styling costs $500 to $800 on average. And a legitimate agency won't charge models anything to sign.
Paying anything up front. That's the biggest red flag. Just don't. A pressure to sign a contract while you're sitting there? No way.
When we reached out to the photo studio group for an interview, it responded by having an attorney send us a cease and desist, threatening to sue us if we aired this story. That attorney told me it's not his client's fault if people don't read through the contract before signing it.
Well,
I
okay, wait.
usually do a
There
better
was
job
that part in the contract, remember, where it says it has been fully explained to me. Okay.
of reading over things. I do think that this whole thing does need to be shut down or at least investigated. It's not right.
Savannah Levins, 11 Alive investigates.
Yeah, so this is just a really big problem. Again, another industry, just trying to help you understand that it does not matter what kind of job you are trying to get. And the potential spam is just going off the hook. Sorry about that. I should have just turned it off. It does not matter what kind of job you're trying to get. These these opportunities for employment, I want to call them scams. These opportunities for employment, sometimes they are just not legitimate. And we're going to have to take our time and do a lot more research here to determine whether or not these parties are people that we should be working with. Let me get rid of all that here. So, a few lessons here, okay? One is read the contract thoroughly from beginning to end. If they're not going to give you a copy of the contract to read, that's a red flag. Number two, if they are telling you, oh, hey, I'll discount it, but you have to sign right here, right now, today, this is a tactic. This is a tactic. They're trying to get you on the hook right then and there. They don't want you to leave. And this is not the only industry that does this. Think about this. You walk into a car dealership to buy a car. They will do the same thing sometimes. We'll knock this price down, but this price is only good for today. So this is not the only industry that does this. I just want you to keep an eye out. Number three, do your research on the company. Try to find referrals. They were able to find complaints on the Better Business Bureau's website. If this person who was trying to get a job with them, who had signed this contract with them, had done that research, some of this might have been avoided. Again, and I've said this in the past when I talk about these situations, I'm not beating this person up on the head, but I'm mentioning this so that we can think about the things that we can do so we don't get caught up in this kind of stuff, and that we can also remind friends and family members of the same things. All right, there you go. For those of you who are interested in modeling, there are some legitimate agencies out there that you can work with. You just have to do your research and make sure you find the right one. Okay? All right, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Mwah. Peace.